I just watched Solitary Man. My verdict on that movie? Not bad. Did I love it? No. Did I hate it? No. It wasn't bad at all. It wasn't bad. Had a good moral to it, you know. It wasn't bad. Well acted. Based on, you know, my own personal enjoyment of it, I'd give it 3 stars. I think on Redbox, it's like, loved it is 5 stars. Remember, very few movies get 5 stars from me. Really liked it is 4, liked it is 3, and then, I don't know, I forget actually. It wasn't a bad movie though. It wasn't bad. Mom started crying today. There was another, and I'm going to put something out there to you guys, since I have fans from all over, you know, all over the United States. I'm not going to put it out to other countries, because as far as I'm concerned, other countries are just, you know, other countries, there's no comparison. It has to just be in the United States if I'm going to ask this question. I imagine that anything I'm hearing on the news, you know, other states are hearing on the news too. It's just we each are in our own state, and we only hear what's happening for the most part in our own state. You know, I told you, even Inside Edition was talking about it. There's been a lot of head-on collisions lately with people going the wrong way down the highway. I mean, it's not funny. You guys know me. And I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing. I'm crying inside all the time. You know, I'm not really. But anyway, my mom started crying. The news came on. Another one. And my question is a very simple question that probably has no answer. Or my answer, I'll tell you what my answer to it. My guess is, how come the ones driving the car, you know, the perpetrators, the ones causing the accident, the ones driving the wrong way down the highway, nothing's happening to them. Like, they're not dying, they're not winding up seriously hurt, but the people in the other car winded up dead. What would be the reason for that? You probably say there's all kinds of reasons. Maybe the ones that, you know, get crashed into, you know, aren't wearing their seatbelts. I've already come up with that hypothesis. I can't think of any other. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I just know that there was another one, yes. I'm sorry, it's after 1 now. There was another one Sunday morning. It's after 1 now, Tuesday. There was another one Sunday morning. My mom started crying because a 6-year-old girl left with her, now won't have her parents. Head-on collision on the highway. The guy was drunk. He's going to, you know, be charged. He has priors, I guess, too, of something. He was drunk, and he killed head-on collision. I saw it on the news. He's in court. He was in a wheelchair, so he was hurt, seriously hurt. I don't know, but they're dead, and the 6-year-old's left without parents, and that's why my mom was crying. She was crying for the little girl being left, you know, without parents, having to go live with relatives, you know. That Paul Fahey is being held without bail. because he essentially committed murder that night. You know, regardless of whether he meant to, is intentional, you know. Our heads are hard, they're not that hard. You can't just stomp on someone's head and not recognize the fact that that person could die. Or become seriously brain damaged. Told Joe about it, and he talked about how drinking in excess, you know, is not good. And he used the word archonic. I don't know what that means, but he said, I'll have to look it up. Archonic forces. I told you, Joe believes in a lot of shit. There was a preview to a movie called Afterlife with Liam Neeson and Christina Ricci. Christina Ricci always wants to do the weird movies. Always wants to do the weird movies. She always wants to do the ones that are, you know, she's in the TV series, the new one that I can't even stand it to be advertised. I mute the button when it comes advertised when I'm trying to watch my Married at First Sight. It's on tomorrow night. Lizzie Borden's Chronicles or something rather. Now this one movie Afterlife, I had to mute it because I don't want to see it. I mean, I don't want to see the previews. I don't want to. So find out why there's that reason why they say, you know, they don't recommend like a lot of times getting things removed from your body, like moles or whatnot. They say, especially from your face, like the scar is worse than the thing that's there. Because this thing on my ass is all red and it's all whatever, and it looks way worse than the skin tag ever looked. It doesn't matter if I didn't do it for aesthetic reasons, you know what I mean? Did it because the thing was getting bigger, and then last summer it started bothering me a little bit. I just decided I wanted it gone. Again, it'll probably grow back anyway. Yeah, so this guy drunk, and the parents, the mother, it happened Sunday morning. I forget the name of the town. Might have begun with a W. Oh, and to Selena, yeah, that's horrible that they put their kid, you know, the woman put her kid in the garbage can. But it's not as bad as the parents who are killing their kids, you know what I mean? I take things in perspective. So Vitacost sent me a 12% off thing. I told you this food I want to get from Vitacost. So definitely going to take advantage of my little 12% off coupon. I have to go do that right now because it ends tomorrow morning. I laugh my ass off at Omar, people. He's a fucking trip and a half. He thinks he's just this little fucking thing, and he thinks he's gonna go after like geese. That one goose would kill him. One, and a pair of them. You know, it's just hysterical. You'd think he would understand he's a little dog and he wouldn't go after anything like that that's big. But he does try, and, you know, I'd be like, they'd kill you, Omar. A cat could kill you. Well, seriously harm you. Maybe not kill you, but you never know. He just has no concept. I scolded the woman who has the 2 dogs. the toy Yorkie. I know people don't like to be scolded. I mean, I did it in a way where I used my own self and my mom as examples, okay? You got to realize that how easily your dogs, or even your kids for that matter, but, you know, because we saw in the news that kid went running down the street and some guy stopped him. The kid might have run into the traffic, okay? But regardless, you got to realize how easily your dogs can just run out and get hit by a car, okay? A lot of people don't realize that, okay? Perhaps this woman's never experienced that, but she's lucky. She's lucky it was me and my mom and Omar that if a car came, I would be able to stop the car, because some of these cars, even though they're not supposed to around here, this neighborhood, they drive kind of fast, and I did scold her, but it's for her own good. I mean, she'd be devastated, you know, and my mom and I are walking down the street. All of a sudden, her chihuahua comes running out. Remember, she always walks these dogs on the leash. The chihuahua's 13 years old. Diablo, he comes running out. And I'm like, Mom, what is he doing? Did he escape the house? What the fuck? He comes right into the street where my mom and I are walking with Omar, okay? Then, the little one follows him, the 2-year-old Yorkie. Braylene follows him. I'm like, Mom, what the fuck? What if this car's coming? You know? And I did very gently, for her own good, the woman, okay? She came out, and I'm like, you gotta be careful. I'm like, and I told the story, you know. She's like, obviously, her dogs, she had the door open. She didn't expect him to do that. I teased her. I'm like, oh, your dogs, because she was calling them, and they weren't listening. They were going right in the street. The little tiny Yorkie, toy Yorkie, little tiny thing. You know, the size of Omar's head, I mean, just a tiny little thing. So small, in the middle of the street. The owner couldn't control them. The owner's like probably 50s or something, no. Younger than my mom, but older than me. I mean, I said to her, I said, you know, your dogs could get killed. Some of the cars drive around here fast, number one. And again, there's animals, there's this, that, whatever. It happened to be me, my mom, and Omar, but what if it wasn't? What if it was a dog that these little dogs start chasing down the street and get killed, okay? So I feel justified. I know people don't like to be scolded, but you know what? I use my mom as an example. I said, yeah, you got to be careful. You can't predict your dogs. I mean, obviously, you're lucky, you know, it was me and my mom and Omar, because if it was something else, you know, my mom, when I wasn't living here, she told me her dogs went to the door open. She didn't realize the dog would do it. Her Bichon Poodle went through her legs and chased a car or a person down the street. And my mom was, you know, I did this woman a favor by scolding her like that, because and I don't even know why, she's like I was putting garbage outside or something, or obviously you left your door open. I mean, how did one come out and then the other followed? Not smart when you have little dogs. Not smart. Not smart. These dogs didn't listen to her. I go, oh, your dogs don't listen any more than my dog does, huh? Because she was yelling at them to come back, and they went right in the street. Because we walk facing the traffic. I walk more to the side. Sometimes my mom's more in the street. But regardless, the dogs went right in the street. Didn't listen to the owner, who came out after them. Not really fast enough. Wouldn't have stopped him from being hit by a car. She could be an example. Be in the situation with my mom with Angel, where my mom's calling for Angel. She's not listening. Angel's running down the street. And I was in the shelter at the time, I think, or something, or I was in LA, or I was in the shelter, whenever it happened. I said, and my mom was hysterical. I said, yeah, you got to be careful. And then you guys know when Omar moved in here, how many times he got out because my mom was not careful. You know? Again, you guys know I've sometimes not been very nice to my mom when it comes to Omar, but I have to make her understand how easily something could happen to him. you know? And my mom saw today these 2 little tiny dogs. They're smaller than Omar. The toy Yorkie's just a tiny little thing. You just wouldn't believe how small it is, that dog. Little girl. But they both came running out. First, the Chihuahua, who's 13, running fast, too. And I said to the owner, like, I guess they wanted to see Omar. They knew he was out here. I'm like, you gotta be careful, though, you know? And then I also put it on, like, and just like me and my mom have to be careful of Omar and her dog, who's not with her right now, but, you know? So, I mean, I scolded her, but in a way, like, you know, giving my own personal examples of, obviously, your dogs are not trained any more than my dog and my mom's dog, so you got to be proactive. You can't leave your door open. They'll run right out the door, and it could have been something else they were chasing, and they could hit so easily around anywhere. No, I did the best I can do. And again, you can do the best you can do. Doesn't mean people will listen. If her dogs wind up getting hit, you know, it'll be her own fault. Because she got her warning. She saw what these dogs did, both of them, when she was off guard. She obviously didn't think they would do it, and they did. You know, they ran out. Both of them. And one ran out later than the other one, which makes me think the woman had her door open. The screen, you know what I mean? That was not good when you have 2 little dogs like that, you know? So hopefully she'll learn, and it won't let it happen again. If it does happen again, you know, it's chance that she was going out the door just as me and Omar and my mom were going by, but, you know, again, other people walk their dogs, there's wild animals, you don't want to do that. You don't have trained dogs, period. I had to put the, quote, fear of death, unquote, in my mom. And then you guys know what happened when she was sick. It was like talking to a brick wall. So yeah, the perpetrator in that brutal bar beating resulted in the guy's murder. You know, it was murder. Yes. You know, it happened on Monday. A week later, the parents he was only living via life support. The parents took him off life support, and 4 days later, he was dead after being on life support for a week. Because he couldn't live without the life support, which means he would just be a vegetable. He would just be brain damage, you know. My mom didn't get any calls today from either her lawyer or auntie. I mean, in all fairness, the lawyer could be thinking to herself, you know, I didn't even tell my mom, you know, didn't tell Samantha that her daughter couldn't go. Yeah, but you did last time. And this time Auntie did. Knocked on the door again. What is it that you wanted me to tell? I'm like, oh my God, Mom. I get so frustrated after this. I had told her, don't bother me. I happened to not been asleep. I was watching my video. But, you know, I was trying to fall asleep, and I didn't want to be bothered. And she doesn't know I'm not sound asleep. And I just feel like that it's something, such a simple concept. She should be able to understand it without me scripting it when I've already told her a few times. I've been telling her, you know, repeatedly. It's very, very frustrating for me. I mean, how hard is that to grasp? Your brother and sister are going to be there. I have a right to be there. I'm your daughter, you know. To the lawyer, you say, my brother and my sister are going to be there. My daughter has a right to be there. To Auntie, you say, you and, you know, so-and-so are going to be there. Laura has a right to be there. You know, like, it's not a hard concept, Mom. Very, very frustrating for me. My mom didn't like my soup before, and she was saying she didn't like it. I'm like, then don't eat it then. She's like, yeah, but why did you have to put onions in it? Because I like onions. Well, but why couldn't you make it? Because, Mom, there are going to be times you don't like things that I make. You don't have to eat it. I happen to love the soup. I make it different. It's always the same base. It's that same base that's been in the freezer for months, you know. The one that's mostly organic, so many different vegetables, and then I do different things to it. But now she likes it. It turned out she didn't like it. I hadn't doctored it up yet. I hadn't put the flax and the chia. Now I put flax, hemp, chia, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and a whole bunch of spices, and now she likes it a lot. She has it sour cream. I had it without sour cream today. Less fattening. She made a nice salad for us that I had, and we had this leftover salmon from yesterday. The kitchen's clean. Made sure. I like to always, I've swept the floor too. I like to always have the kitchen be spotless before I go to bed. Don't always succeed with that, but, you know, trying to usually have the kitchen clean. Last night I told my mom, just go to bed, Mom, I'll do the kitchen. And there were things that need to be put away instead of that she couldn't do, and I just said, I'll take care of it, just go to bed. We were watching episode after episode of the, I'd seen them all, the season 9 to 3. Of 2.5 minutes. I told my mom, I think I might, would you be interested in watching Friends? When Friends first came out, I never watched it, but I like it, and she's like, I've seen a lot of them. I'm like, so have I, but that was the same one we watched 2.5 Men. You know, but there were some we hadn't seen, and I know I didn't see the beginning ones. I never saw the beginning ones and how, you know, I never saw the ones where Ross meets Rachel and they start dating, and I never saw those ones. I think I might like, you know, that. It's an escape, you know. I like Michael Douglas. I don't know how old he is now, but he's still quite handsome. I like Michael Douglas. Richard Gere is another one. So whatever happens with court, at least that'll be it. It'll be over with. As for me, like I told you, I could lose my benefits. Looking at Homer's ears today. They might just be like, I don't think they're infected. I don't know. I'd like to take him to a holistic vet. I don't think it'll cost that much more. I can't afford to go to that holistic dentist. Remember I did that when I was living with Bobby. That's a pretty penny, and the thing I can't afford something like that. Not even. But him, it's not like he has any major health problems. I think I could afford to take him to an holistic vet. I just don't want to. They're in the vet world. It's not holistic. They just believe in, dogs keep getting ear infections. They just want to give them antibiotics, and it's just. I don't think that's a good idea for recurring ear infections in dogs to just endlessly give them more antibiotics. I'm sleeping here with me too, so when sleep's not interrupted. snow is just about melted. My mom's actually been taking them right into the backyard to pee-pee. Today we went for an hour walk. It wound up being an hour because we walked slow, because we met those two dogs, the owner and whatnot. But yeah, snow's just about melted. It's weird. That's my quick video update. Yep, Solitary Man was not a bad movie. Not a bad movie. So I think there's half options too. So I think I'll probably give it 3.5 stars. 3 stars. You can do half options and then red box. They limit how much you can write. I found that out when you do a little review. I was like, oh, it only gives you a limited amount of room. And I think on Netflix you can write as much as you want. I've never done it on Netflix. I'd never done Redbox before I decided to, though. I have an account, so why not? They only let you write a little bit. They cut you off. That's good for someone like me who writes too much anyway. Okay, people. And by the way, I still didn't turn in that form. I'm going to, I need to just do it, forget about reading until I get back to therapy. It's gonna be weird talking about all this shit with a therapist. My last therapist got fed up because I was so caught, it was not my fault. I was so caught up in all this, you know, as it was happening. And remember, I was back in the shelter. It was all this thing with my mom, and then the thing with you guys know that whole story. I'm not gonna tell it, but I was so caught up in it. And right there, it was like, you know, we need to talk about things, not just about, you know, what's going on. Yeah, but I cannot separate myself, okay? It's too much, you know? It's happening right now, okay? It's too much for me to deal with. All the stuff that recently happened, I don't know, it's gonna be weird talking about it because I'm kind of in denial about it. No, I just can't even believe it. It all happened, and I have all these videos out here that prove it all happened. All these videos that documented each day as it was happening over these last several months. Fucking unbelievable. I know damn well my entire family is thinking I am one smart cookie. Might be a fucked in the head cookie, but I'm still a smart fucked in the head cookie. I already got it straight out from my auntie, but I know what the rest of them are thinking. I know exactly. I know exactly. I should write a fucking book. I know what they're thinking in regards to all of this. Any of my mom's friends who know, you know, whatever, they can only imagine what they're thinking too. Or my family, oh, I know exactly what they're thinking. I know exactly what all of them are fucking thinking in regards to all this shit. I'm gonna have to call FedEx too. Say, you know, no manager ever got back to me, and I was going through my own shit, and I just didn't feel like whatever. But you know, you didn't even call and leave me a message. Lena's like, you should tell them don't leave anything on the porch that they need to hand. Oh yeah, I did that. I did that in 2013, Miss C. And apparently it fell by the wayside. I don't know. I complained last time, and the manager said, we will never leave anything on, you know, we'll note your account. Yeah, it didn't work, did it? Here we were a couple of years later, and the same goddamn thing happened. Only worse, because last time I just bitched up a storm because they didn't put it in plastic. Left it sitting out there on the friggin' wet porch, and it soaked through, and it was my sun food. Okay? But again, this is gonna, doesn't matter if it's not winter anymore, it can rain anytime. these FedEx, UPS, any of them are supposed to, and I got it from the managers, that your policy, yeah, it's our policy, Laura, it's a policy, miss, it's a policy, man, whatever. They are supposed to wrap it, the box, in a fucking plastic bag. They have the plastic bags in the truck. They're supposed to do that before, in inclement weather, okay? That is their policy, and if they don't want to do it because they're in too much of a hurry, well, fuck them. I'm going to complain every goddamn fucking time until it doesn't happen anymore.